Here we go now.
Welcome to the Solo Promoter Podcast, the show that is one guy talking about tabletop pro wrestling and fighting games completely solo. This includes Phil Singer Games, Legends of Wrestling, Champions of the Galaxy, Go Fight Pow, The Squared Circle, and much more. Welcome to the show. My name is Grandpa Choco. This is episode number 106. Before we get going, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for downloading, and I want to thank all the members of the Golden Circle. The Golden Circle helped make this show possible, so a big shout out to them. They get to see videos of the raw, unedited recording of these episodes by being a Golden Circle channel member. They also get them commercial free in that I don't put, my podcast provider doesn't put commercials into it. YouTube might put commercials onto it. I have nothing to do with that. But anyway, they get to hear the audio of this uninterrupted and all that kind of good stuff. So welcome to the show. Thank you to the Golden Circle channel members. It's great to have everyone here. Here's a couple updates for myself. The Squared Circle came out with a new game edition covering pre-1984 WWF or the WWF, and it's been a lot of fun. I've played out 3 cards so far, and I liked it. And it's really funny because when I play the Squared Circle, I immediately want to play it again. And then I'll play it a bunch, and then I will kind of put it away. And then I don't play it for a while, and I kind of think, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to play it. But then once I play it, I get kind of hooked, and I want to play it more. And I think it's because, part of that reason is I've gotten the hang of it. It's not as daunting. And this new set is a lot of fun, and I'm having fun kind of playing out the matches all together. And I'm also keeping the cards really, really short, only 5 matches per card. And I'm also using the quick play rules to kind of build people up and see how they do. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. Check out that new thing. I'll have a link for it in the show notes. Also, the Ringside Companion Volume 2 is here, and that's from Phil Singer Games. It is huge. It is enormous. It is 157 pages of charts and things. I think the match I'm most looking forward to here is the what do they call it? The Titanic Steel Cage match, which is like the old blue steel cage match. Also this Indian strap match, because we have Wahoo McDaniel in Legends of Wrestling. So anyway, it's here. I'll put a link to that also in the show notes. It arrived. You can see my unboxing. You can also see my first look at the Squared Circle WWF version, and check that out as well. And I also just did a video. It probably won't come out publicly. It's out now for Golden Circle channel members, but it won't come out publicly until October. But this new wrestling game called 5-Star Match, which is a solo tabletop game, and I did about an hour-long video where I set up my Fed and I created some wrestlers, and then I rolled out the first card. I don't 100% know if I'm doing it correctly. It's interesting. I won't say like the Squared Circle. It's not something where it's like, oh, I immediately want to get back to it. But like the Squared Circle, I think the more I play it, the better and more I'll get used to it. And maybe that opinion will change. But anyway, I'll have a link to that in the show notes too. But again, that video won't come out until I think October. I'm recording this on August 5th, 2025. That's about all that's happening here in terms of news and what's going on my tabletop. I've had a string of shows recently for my puppetry work, Puppet Up shows, and I've had a string of those, and so now I'm just kind of getting back into creating the content, and I have some great ideas for some upcoming episodes of this very podcast, so thanks for hanging in there, thanks for staying tuned, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's talk about the main topic. My main topic today is this concept, and it's a concept of playing any tabletop. I'm thinking of this of my own tabletop wrestling games. The way I'm going to kind of say this is focused towards tabletop wrestling games, but it could fit in for any type of game. This is the concept of eat your cake first as a mindset when you're playing the game. Now, I had this idea in my head because I recently got the MythWorlds 2 set, and I got it, and I'm excited to play it and I read through the handbook, and the way I normally would play is to not put the top guys against each other, the feuding opponents against each other at the very beginning. And then I started thinking about this concept of eat your cake first. Now, this is different than I think a lot of people play, because a lot of people do that thing where it's a slow build and, the sort of traditional build. And it's the common approach of, if you want to book your Fed, whether it is a Champions of the Galaxy Fed, or if it's a Legends of Wrestling Fed, or it's Go Fight Power, whatever, you want to have these storylines, because that's the wrestling that we see. The wrestling that we see has these storylines. WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, they built that story up over several weeks. There was the Piper's Pit segments. There was the contract signing. It built up over weeks, and then we had the final big main event, right? And so, like, when you get the first edition of Champions of the Galaxy, you read that Star Warrior and Thanos are enemies. They used to be tag team partners, but you may think, well, I'm going to build up to that match over a series of cards, right? And it's there's a lot of satisfaction to the anticipation. Some people say the anticipation is the best part, right? They write songs about it. But the anticipation of getting to that match, and then you finally roll out that match, And the problem is with these tabletop games, and you know this all too well if you've played them at all, that sometimes the dice do not deliver on a fantastic match. It could end quickly on a roll of snake eyes. It could, end in a disqualification. It could end in a countout, whatever. And so you build up to this big match, and then the match itself is a letdown. So here is my pitch as a concept, as a way to try to play, is the eat your cake first match. First approach, not first match. Eat your cake first approach. Book the biggest match right away. Do Star Warrior versus Thanos on the first card, not 5 cards from now. Do Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant first, not 5 cards from now. Book the big match right away. You get an immediate payoff. Hopefully, again, the dice might give you a crappy match, because that's just the way it happens. But you're going to get an immediate payoff. You're not going to get any delay. You gain instant excitement. You get fast storytelling momentum. Now, I will say what you do lose is you lose that build, you lose the anticipation, but maybe you don't lose the drama, because what you can do if you have the big match first is, instead of telling all your storytelling before the match, your storytelling starts with the match. What happens with the fallout from that match? What happens after that match? Let those results shape your storylines going forward, and see what happens after there. I am somebody who, when I'm playing, say, Phil Singer games, I love when things end in disqualification. Yeah, sometimes it sucks if you're doing 6 matches on a card and 5 of them end in disqualification. That sucks, and you may think, oh, that's horrible storytelling. But here's the thing. You're just playing for yourself. It doesn't matter what other people think, right? So don't worry about, oh, I'm not playing the right way. Oh, other people would think this is really crappy if it ends in 5 disqualifications. It doesn't matter. You're playing the game. That's the way the things shake out. And I love disqualifications. I love countouts, because that leads to other stories. It's the same way, and I'm not saying this in a real life way. I'm saying this in a game playing way. I like injuries, because injuries will take someone out and let me focus on other people before I bring that person back in, and then I have a storyline there. So you're dealing with the fallout. You could roll out the match. You could have a shock upset. You could have instant rematches. You could have post-match angles. These are things you can do if you eat your cake first, if you play that big match first. You're playing reactively, not prescriptively. You are reacting to what's happening, not trying to build up to something that may or may not happen. A lot of times I hear people, when they're talking about how they play the games, and this is for different games, they have an idea in their head, and then the dice don't go that way, and so they kind of fudge the results in order to keep their storylines. This eat your cake method is, it's almost like improv. You see what happens and then you're reacting to it. And I think that is a really, really cool way to play. And here's the thing. You have permission from me, the Grandpa Choco of the Solo Promoter Podcast. You have permission to play differently. There is no wrong way to play. You are not doing it wrong if you do the slow build. You're not doing it wrong if you play the big match first. Here's what I think. Life is short, okay? I am 51 years old. We just, a lot of people who as a kid and now I respected are starting to pass away, right? We're all getting older. And even if you're 20 years old, thanks for listening to the podcast. It's really great to have you. But life is short anyway. Play the big matches now. Who cares? You don't have to build up to this in storyline. The only person you're trying to impress is you. And if you want to build up to a big storyline, please do it. But I'm just saying, don't say like you get a new set of cards and you have, Pinnacle. Pinnacle was in Mythworlds 1, but you have Quintal, or you have the Jade Prince. Is that his name? The Jade Prince? I think so. The Jade Emperor. Jade Emperor. I haven't played. I've been focusing on Legends. But you have those two cards. They're supposed to be feuding enemies. And I think when I start Mythworlds 2, I haven't officially started yet, I'm going to put those two together right from the top and see what happens. A lot of times when I would play, and this is the way I think I've mostly all played, is all the new guys come in, they fight lower ranked guys, and they slowly work their way up the rankings. I've never played where I'm going to take the feuds from the handbook as a starting point and just do those big matches. Pinnacle is my current Galaxian champion. I'm going to put him up against the Jade Emperor, which I think that's his name, thinking about it now. I'm going to put him up against the Jade Emperor first thing at the Perennial. See what happens. Jade Emperor comes in, he becomes the Galaxian champion right away. That will be a great storyline to work with, and I don't have to wait until some imaginary thing in my head that says, oh, the Jade Emperor has won enough matches. He can now fight Pinnacle because Pinnacle's the champ, and before he hadn't won enough to do that. I'm just going to do it. I'm using the storyline books as a thing. So if you get a new set of Legends cards, if you get the new game edition of Squared Circle and you want to incorporate those guys, play the big matches out first. Do it. Try it. See what happens. Maybe it's not a style you like, but maybe it will be a style you like, and you'll continue on with that. It's just a different way to play than I think I'm talking about me personally, than I have ever thought of playing, because I think of the traditional, well, if somebody new comes in, they have to win a bunch of matches first in order before they get to the big matches. No, play the big matches first. Let's see what happens. Let's have some fun. Let's have our cake first and see what happens. I would love to encourage you to experiment with this method. Again, there's no doing it wrong. No one's going to come take your cards and dice away. You're totally safe. So don't worry about that. Let me know if you have ever played like this. And I'm talking in a Fed situation. Yeah, sure, we can all just get two cards, roll out one single match. But I'm talking about in a Fed history where you're building like this. Do you play this way, or do you play the slow build way? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments, or over on the message board in the thread, or over at the Filsinger Games fan Discord. I'll have links to all of that in the show notes. But let me know what you think about eating your cake first. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. If you have a topic you'd like the show to cover, you can leave it in the comments. Make sure to subscribe or follow wherever you're listening to this. You can check out my personal feds at gwfpromoter.com and lowpromoter.com. Thanks again to the Golden Circle channel members for help making this episode possible. And let me tell you something. Golden Circle channel members, when they see the video of this recording, it is an all-timer, because something happened during the middle of this recording of this episode that I can't even explain, but the Golden Circle channel members will get to see it. And it's an all-timer. That's all I'm going to say. And that's not just me giving you clickbait to try and join the Golden Circle. No. what happened during the middle of this was pretty crazy, and it was a lot of fun. The theme song for this show is American Guy by Throwing Toasters, used by permission and available on Apple Music, Spotify, and anywhere you get your music. This podcast is not affiliated in any way with any gaming company or their subsidiaries. It's purely for entertainment purposes. This episode is copyright 2025 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Pachoco, executive producer, all rights reserved. www.saturdaymorningmedia.com.